Today, we're gonna see how RAG works from scratch. RAG or RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation. It combines benefits of both retrieval and generation-based AI. Simply put, pre-existing knowledge will be derived from our PDF file, so that generative AI will respond with context-aware answers. For example, this is a typical ChatGPT-like interaction. We type a question and it answers. In this case, I want to know how to make coffee, and here I have a general answer for it. With RAG, we give it a context, in this case a PDF that contains instruction on how to operate a specific coffee machine. Then I tap the same question, how to make coffee. It will search answers based on the file and give much more specific response. Like we can see here that pressing a button is key to this answer. We'll take a look how it works behind the scene, how RAG works behind the scene. This is the raw answer without context. With the same question or query, this is the raw answer with context. Let's get started. We'll use WebUI with Google Colab to simulate ChatGPT-like experience locally in building our AI system. I've installed WebUI locally, but my laptop does not have GPU to run it. So I will connect it to Google Colab. Anyway, this is how you run ChatGPT-like feature with limited hardware for free. Go to Google Colab, install Ollama like this. While it is running, let's check out WebUI. This is my local installation. As admin, I can go to Settings, Admin Settings, and check my connection. Thankfully, it provides Ollama API. We will connect this to our Colab. I'm using ngrok to expose Colab. Our installation is completed. Next, let's see our script. I'm using these two modules for the API connection. We are going to run Gemma 2. Put your ngrok auth token like this. And this is the port. Let's run it. We get our URL here. Copy it and paste it in configure. Let's save and save just to be sure. Now, if we go to new chat, we can type in our question. We have not chosen our model yet. We can choose from here, but currently we have none. Let's go back to admin settings, connection Ollama API. This time, click the other icon, manage. Here we can pull a model. We are going to use Gemma 2. So I copy it, paste it here, click the download button, and wait for it to finish. It is currently pulling Gemma 2-2B LLM from ollama.com. When it reaches 100%, wait a little longer until successful download notification appear. Close it, go to models, and now we can see the downloaded model. We can have our chat now. Notice that the model is already chosen. Let's type a question. And yes, we have reply. Isn't it amazing? We now have a ChatGPT-like tool in our laptop. It may even have more capabilities in fact. And one we'll dive in is RAG. We are just starting. I asked two questions previously, and the history is saved here. I name one non-RAG and another RAG. Let's have a look. In non-RAG, I type a question and hit enter. Nothing unusual, it replies with the model I chose. In RAG, I ask the same question and I upload a PDF document. As you can see, the reply is totally different. The PDF file puts some context and it replies based on the context. If you're wondering, the PDF I use is just a manual book of a coffee machine. I recently just got this machine and done setting it up. After that, the manual book sits nicely in my folder doing nothing, so why not make use of it, right? Now, let's try it together. On new chat, let's type our question. We have our reply. I'll give it a name for differentiation. Next, new chat. This time, click the plus icon here and choose Upload Files. Type the same question. We can see a totally different reply. Part of it says, press the coffee button. If you think about it, button and coffee are far related. But given the context of our PDF that contains manual on how to operate a coffee machine, we get contextual result. In other words, we generate augmented reply by retrieving external information as its context. And that is what RAG is essentially about. For the rest of this video, we will go backstage. We'll discuss an alternative on how RAG might work behind the scene. I like to start with a diagram. From left to right, we'll break down the whole process piece by piece. Starting from a document or collection of documents. We'll break a document into pages, sentences, and chunks using all MPNet-based v2 and spacey that basically split sentences based on period and space. The split result will be stored in a variable, and we'll use it at the last step. Next is embedding. Embedding result will be stored in CSV file and loaded into torch.tensor. We can do this because we have small data. For large data, we would need vector database. Then we'll create embedding model using sentence transformer. After which is a more interesting one that will find similarity and give numerical value to it. The higher, the more similar. Then we'll jump into setting up LLM. Basically, like what we did in WebUI, but with command lines instead of graphical user interface. Finally, we'll ask question and enrich the answer with the most similar chunk from our document. Enough talking, let's start. This is a Colab notebook we will use, and I will run the end result for you. I print what would be our question or query, and of course the answer. Remove any excess coffee from the rim of the filter holder and attach it to the appliance. Press and hold the coffee button. We can sense that it is related to coffee machine. Not a typical answer we get when we ask how to make a coffee question in an AI tool. The answer is enriched, augmented. As comparison, this is what would be the answer without context. Let's dive in. While our Colab notebook is loading, I'd like to emphasize that what we are going to see is an alternative. There are definitely other ways, if not better ways, to do the same. Our AG pipeline from scratch. On the left, from setting up environment, our document or PDF, reconstruction of our PDF, embedding or vector representation of objects, place to store of vector data, embedding model, similarity score of semantic search, setting up LLM, and the final result before we end with future work consideration. This notebook explains what makes a RAG pipeline piece by piece. Definitely it is not a ready-to-use solution. We'll see what could happen behind the scene of an RAG solution. For me, having this notebook helps my understanding. The pieces. We have seen this and will refer to this diagram throughout. Let's start installing modules as beginning. Beginning. Done installing. First piece, our PDF. We'll use one PDF file for simplicity. This is the PDF name. This is how it looks like. It is a manual book of a coffee machine. Small files, less than 20 pages. It has text, tables, images, and we'll focus only on text. Let's run it. and the script will download the PDF. First piece done. Second piece, reconstructing our PDF.